The M, the M, the Y, Little Jimmy.
Dr. Beasley, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Lil Jimmy. How are you?
Man, if I could be better, then I'd be as super as I'm intended. Superintendent.
I wouldn't have thought of that in a million years.
Well, hey, that's what it's time. There's a lot of things we haven't thought about. But it's all good. Mr. Dr. Beasley, first of all, thank you for being on Got a Question with Lil Jimmy. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
This is a place where there's no such thing as a dumb question. But it could be funny.
Okay.
But Dr. Beasley, there's just so much stuff that you do. You have multiple degrees in various levels in science and science and math more so, and things like that. And you're the superintendent of one of a very large school district here in Clayton County. Man, you have a lot of staff that's under you, a lot of people that respect you and things like that. And I was just wondering, got a question.
Okay. What's your question?
Can I be like you?
Well, Lil Jimmy, you don't need to be like me. You need to be who you are and pursue your pathway, your journey. There are things about me that you may like. There are things about you that I like and that I may try to emulate. But at the end of the day, I want Lil Jimmy and everyone else to be who they are. Follow the path that has been ordained and designed for your life.
Yeah.
You know that along with everyone's path comes various challenges.
Yes, sir.
So always remember that wherever I am, it came with many challenges. Whatever path you're taking, it's going to come with what? Many challenges. So just appreciate your path like I should appreciate my path.
Wow. Hey, thank you so much for that, Dr. Beasley.
You're
Okay, that's the end of the show. I don't need to say anything. Wow, that's so cool because, a lot of the paths that I follow go through doorways and I always got to duck.
Well, I can see why that would be the case.
But just remember this. It takes one to know one.
Well, I never said that mine was any better.
So I'll say it. Now, but Dr. Beasley, I always had this question I always wanted to ask of a superintendent, and I'm so glad that you're the first person I got to ask it. So, got a question.
Okay.
What is the toughest part of being a superintendent?
The toughest part of being a superintendent is helping everybody stay focused on the children. Oftentimes, a lot of people say it's all about the children. It's all about the children. But as you know, when you have a whole lot of adults in the room, in the kitchen, they forget about the little children.
Wow.
And it becomes sometimes about what they want in their agendas, not necessarily what's good for the children.
Wow. So, on that note, got a question. So, what is it that you do to overcome or deal with that kind of challenge?
Well, that's a great question. I think the first thing I do is maintain my focus on the children and always try to steer people in that direction. And so as a superintendent, when I have conversations with parents, with principals and teachers, it's always about what are we doing to support our children? What are we doing? What strategies are we using? What opportunities are we providing that will help our children grow and reach the dreams and the aspirations that they have for themselves?
Wow. Hey, man, that's a good answer, man.
Well, thank you.
You sure you ain't got that written down?
No, nowhere. It's written in my heart. It's in my heart.
That's why it flows so good. Good job. Man, that's a great answer. Got a question.
Okay.
What is the funnest part about being a superintendent?
The funnest part is I get a chance to meet some of the most amazing people, from Lil Jimmy to
I didn't pay him for that,
by the way. I've met the governor. I've met our Board of Education, their elected officials. I've met our state delegation, our elected officials, our county commissioner. I get a chance to meet parents who are homemakers and parents who are doctors and lawyers and pastors. I get a chance to meet individuals not only in our county, but within our city, the mayor of Atlanta and other places. I just get a chance to meet some amazing people who are doing awesome things for our children and for our community. That's one of the most exciting aspects of being a superintendent.
Wow. You know, I always wanted to meet somebody at the Federal Reserve.
I've met individuals at the Federal Reserve as well.
Okay, let me hold some.
Well, they didn't give me anything to give you to hold.
I got you. But man, that's amazing. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
So when you meet those people, do you feel intimidated because there's such high people or visibility in the news, the media, or do you feel like they're just, you're on the same level or something like that?
Well, that is a great question. I don't know if I feel intimidated, but I feel like I represent our community, and I always want to represent our community very well. So I'm very conscientious about what I say, about how I'm speaking, about what I may look like, about what topic I'm discussing or how I may respond, because I recognize that it's not about Dr. Beasley, that I represent this school community. I represent our Board of Education. I represent our 55,000 students. I represent our 285,000 members in this community. I represent all of the parents in Clayton County who have children in our school system. So I'm very conscientious about that, and I want to do my best to represent our community in whatever circle that I am invited into.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. Okay, got another question.
Okay.
Like, when you come and visit the schools, I notice in a lot of the pictures that I've seen in video, you have a tie on and you have a suit on or something like that. Have you ever felt like, I want to take this off and interact with the kids or roll on the floor or run up and down the stairs, whatever you're doing?
Well, Lil Jimmy, you need to look for more pictures, because there are some pictures out there with me not wearing a tie and where I am on the floor playing with the kids and engaged in the instructional activity. It just depends on what I'm invited to do, what I'm there to do, and honestly, how much time I may have in order to do that. Some days I have a lot of time. Some days I'm making quick visits, drop-bys. Don't have a whole lot of time. It just depends. But I would imagine if you followed me more often, you would see me not always wearing a tie, and you would see me engaged in a lot. I mean, I went in one class most recently, and I think I was dancing with the children, enjoying they had a physical break, a moment between instructional activities, and they were engaged physically. So I joined them and, released a little stress. There's a whole lot of stress in this job. So I had to release a little stress and had a great time doing it.
Wow. That question.
Okay.
Was you doing old people dances or were you doing young people dances looking old?
Well, I was trying to do the young people dance, but I'm known to not know how to dance. But after all these years, I'm good with that, Lil Jimmy. You make sure you know how to dance.
Yeah, got you, because I think one of the most amazing things to see is older people dancing.
Older people? Lil Jimmy, who are you talking to? Older people?
Well, you're older than me. I'm 12.
I guess that would be the case. But
when I see older people dancing, when I see them doing older people dances, it kind of looks cool. But when I see older people messing up younger people dancing, I'd just be like, stop!
Well, Lil Jimmy, don't be too hard on them, because as you keep living, that's what's going to happen. You may be one of those older people trying to do younger people dances.
I've seen that. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Do you feel? I got a question.
Okay.
Do you feel that
have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Sorry, it's a kid thing. Sorry.
That's the way it ought to be.
Actually, I'm sure you have some. Let me stop. Got a question. Do you feel that you have a competitive streak in you, that like there's things happening, the competitor in you is what makes you want to overcome it, or do you think it's something else other than being competitive?
I would say it's a bit of the competitive nature that I have, but I would also say it's a bit of the mindset of victorious, having a victorious spirit that I believe has a lot to do with my relationship with the Lord. I believe that if we're given a task, we should do our best to do the task at an excellent level. And no matter what we go through, I believe we should overcome it.
Wow. So, got a question. How much do you think character counts in that?
Character. Lil Jimmy, you have a lot of great questions. But character is so important. This is what I often tell people.
Stop right there. Are you thirsty?
No.
Hey, Coach from the Hood, can we have some character water?
Character water. Thank you. I am thirsty for character water.
MVP, character water. Get character back in you.
Wow.
Most valuable person.
That commercial was brought to you by Coach from the Hood.
Wow.
And MVP character water. Yeah, this is something that's very, very, very dear to myself and definitely Coach from the Hood. This is his own water.
Wow.
And it has a lot of character sayings, and they have multiple bottles in different colors and different sayings like love, and then it explains there. And so it's putting character back into you after you explain.
And I think that's powerful. I was about to share that I often tell people skill may get you somewhere, but character will keep you somewhere.
Wow.
Remember, skill is one thing.
Hey, Coach, write that down.
But character, it is who you are when people are looking and when they're not looking. Now, we all have room to grow in our character, so we should all be growing. But just remember, your skill may open doors for you. Your character will keep you going through those open doors.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Are you a preacher?
Sometimes.
Well, on that front, the competitive thing and character and things like this, I have this program. It's called the Lil Jimmy Get Fit Challenge.
Okay.
And what I do is I have multiple bounce houses, and I combine athleticism and things like this, and I set them up in an obstacle course fashion. Mm-hmm. And Coach from the Hood helps get people to understand exercise and things like this.
Okay.
But through the Get Fit Challenge, whoever can go through the obstacle courses the fastest, they win. And so the question I got a question.
Okay.
If you can compete against any superintendent in the Lil Jimmy Get Fit Challenge, who is the superintendent of schools that you would like to be victorious over?
Well, that's a great question. Well, I would want to win, wouldn't I?
Yes, sir.
So I would probably just find a superintendent who's not in shape as good as I am.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask you who you might think that might be.
That wouldn't
I'm
be
not trying to
proper.
get him in trouble.
That wouldn't be proper.
No, I won't, so I won't pass that. But I think it'll be an interesting thing to set up. What you think?
You ought to work toward that.
Yes, sir.
You just make sure that they didn't say that I said select the person who is least likely to be in shape as good as I'm in shape.
Gotcha. So what we'll do is we'll get a real fit looking one, and we'll make him a ringer. My grandpa taught me about ringers.
And what's a ringer, Lil Jimmy?
That's a person that is set up to fail on purpose.
Now, you know, Lil Jimmy, that doesn't sound too good to me. I don't like when people are set up to fail.
Okay. Well, it's going to make you victorious even though it was a person that looked out of shape.
But you know, character means that I don't have to be victorious at the expense of someone else's demise. Character means that I can be victorious even if it feels like I'm defeated. Because character is greater than the outcomes. Character is not what happens to me. Character is who I am.
Wow.
Even when those bad things happen to me.
He must be an educator, because he just educated me on that one. That's a great response. I feel corrected.
Well, we all have to be corrected at times. I'm corrected by many times, by many people. And I'm sure as we keep living, we'll be corrected some more. But that's how we develop what?
Character. Yeah. Well, Dr. Beasley, we're going to wrap this thing up. I got another question and a half.
Another question? Okay.
But I'm going to first draw a picture. Sometimes I have to draw a picture in a Sharpie so it'll stick with you. I know that we've been going through a lot with the COVID and the at-home learning and not in the school and stuff, virtual learning and stuff like this. Can I ask a suggestion of somebody like a superintendent that can make this happen?
You can ask anything you'd like.
Okay. Got a question. Okay. Can we make virtual learning just for the bullies so they can stay home?
Wow. That's a great question. I'll say this. Virtual learning is a tool for students regardless of who they are, to connect with their teachers. If you ever find yourself being bullied, I would expect you, whether it's in face-to-face instruction or virtual, I would expect you to always let your parents know and confirm your teacher, so the teacher can work with the principal and the counselor to do something about that. You should never allow yourself to take in bullying without reaching out to someone who can help you deal with that situation.
Wow, that's a great... You must be a superintendent. Because those answers are super like you intended.
You know, I may be trying to be a superintendent, but I think most importantly, I'm a person who loves children, who loves people, and who desires the very best for our children, the very best for our community, the very best for our families. And whatever I can do to help us achieve the very best, that's what I'm willing to do. And I'm willing to go to whatever lengths when it comes to our children to ensure little Jimmys have the opportunity to be everything in life that they dream and aspire to be.
Wow. If my eyes would close, I would close my eyes in prayer and say, hey, man, hallelujah.
Can you not close your eyes, Jimmy?
Sorry, sir, no.
How do you dream if you don't close your eyes, little Jimmy?
I practice social distancing. That's cool. But Dr. Beasley, man, it's been a pleasure for you being on Got a Question with Lil Jimmy. But at the end, I just said, you have a question for me.
Well, little Jimmy, why do you do this? What motivated you to ask all these questions of different people?
Well, because sometimes as kids, especially now, you know, we're always being told to sit down, be quiet, go over there, and we make more mistakes than we should because we don't ask more questions. Even if it seems like you've asked it before, sometimes asking that question can give you clarity. And so I just want to encourage all young people to continue asking questions. And it can be fun. It doesn't have to be hard and stressful. Just have fun. Just be appropriate. And be able to be stood, be corrected and stuff. So that's my motivation.
Well, if there's something you want to know, asking a question is a very appropriate action to take.
Yes, sir.
So I commend you for asking questions. And when you meet new people, the only way you're going to get to know them is you've got to ask questions.
Yes, sir.
And you've got to be able to share and respond to their questions.
Yes, sir.
So questioning is a great way of learning, a great way of engaging with people, having conversations. It's just a great way of improving your character.
Wow. I'm telling you, you're not only a great educator, but you're a great dot-to-dot connector and a great word searcher and all those things.
Well, Jimmy, the only reason I appear to be great is because you asked me the right questions.
Wow.
You asked me many questions and you gave me a chance to respond. And everything that you see in me, I see in you.
Wow. But you can blink. Okay. Dr. Beasley, thank you for being on Got a Question with Lil Jimmy.
Thank you.
And man, and please continue to be blessed in your job and helping the kids. And if you could say one thing to all the superintendents all over the world, what would you share with them?
I would share to be mindful of the little Jimmys. We need them to ask as many questions as possible. So let's continue to create those environments in which they are safe, they are encouraged, they feel loved, and they have every opportunity to ask every question that comes to their mind.
Wow. Again, thank you, Dr. Beasley.
Thank you, Lil Jimmy.
And bless your staff and everything.
We thank you. We receive that blessing.
See you later.
Take
The
care.
L, the I, the L, the J, the I, the M, the Y, little Jimmy.